Good morning, caregivers. Today is Tuesday, February the 26th. I always have to look and see. I'm good to know what day it is. You can forget the date. And I'm glad you've chosen to join me for What's Going On with Mama. If you are in sunny Estero, Florida, it is 69 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be sunny all day, and y'all are going to hit 82. Oh, that's nice. I'm back in South Carolina, and it is not quite so warm here. It's 37 degrees in our high today. Well, we're going to hit 65. That's not too shabby. We'll take it. If you are in New York, it's sunny and 28 degrees. Ooh, and you guys are going to hit 38. Still kind of cold. But we're glad that you're here for What's Going On with Mama. Today is Tips on Tuesday. And we're going to talk about an article that was in Washington Post. But before I do that, I want to welcome our sponsors and ask you to be sure and check them out. Let's start with Vitamin Depot on Celanese Road. Visit David Graham at Vitamin Depot. Tell him what's going on, the issues you're dealing with, and he very well may have an opportunity for you to try a wonderful natural product. I'm adjusting my camera. There, that looks better. He has lots of wonderful natural products that are good for your body rather than loading up on all those dadgone chemicals. Yeah, buddy, I take a handful of stuff every day, and only like 2 of them are prescription. So, David Graham on Celanese Road. And also, Life in the Carolinas, the award-winning television show, Emmy nominated. It is a great show. Check them out, lifeinthecarolinas.com. You can see them on local channels in your area if you are in the North Carolina, South Carolina area. But if not, check them out online. And then Passmore's Grocery and Grill. Well, they've got excellent grits. I've told you guys, when I speak sometimes, especially if I'm out of my area, people ask me, have I ever had a grit? I'm like, honey, you can't have a grit. That's impossible. You can't cook a grit. You cook a pot of grits. Hi, Howard. So they have wonderful grits. Check them out. Hey, Martha, glad you're here today. Well, we are back in South Carolina. We had been in Florida for 2 weeks, and it was great to be able to get away and to enjoy the sunshine, but we had a lot of work to do there, and we're happy for those folks that we're able to work with there. So today we're going to talk about this idea of welcoming Alzheimer's into your world. Well, when it's already there. We're not exactly going to go out on the street, hunt it down, and ask it to come visit, are we? No, but sometimes it knocks on our door quite unexpectedly, and there we've got it. So how are we going to approach it? Well, that's a good question, and sort of kind of like yesterday when I talked about medications for dementia. It is an individual thing. The medications that we use for dementia, how we use them, oftentimes are different for different people. I'm setting my timer because I forgot to do that. And how we welcome dementia of whatever type, and there's over 200 reasons you can have dementia. Whether we welcome it into our world or we fight it, it's a personal decision, and I respect whichever way you choose. Good morning, Jane. But for my family and for a growing number of families, we have chosen to welcome it, to live with it, to make it a part of our world, and no, we are not fighting Alzheimer's. Yeah, we participate in the walk to end Alzheimer's and all that kind of stuff, but fighting it with that fierceness every day in our heart, not so much. Good morning, Kate. So there was an article in the Washington Post. Let me pull up my notes here. And you know, I'm half blind anymore. I've got 14 pairs of these reading glasses laying everywhere. Boy, am I glad they're cheap. In case you haven't tried them, I don't recommend the $1 ones. They're not worth the flippity-doo-dah. And I don't recommend the $10 and $20 ones. They're not any better. But the $5 ones at Walmart, not the cheap ones, and not the $10 ones, the $5 ones. That's my free commercial for Walmart. Tom and Peggy with the really, really last name, but we're just going to call them Tom and Peggy out of Virginia, were interviewed and are among those people, the growing number of people who are welcoming Alzheimer's in. Tom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at the age of 64, which statistically could put him in the range of people who have early onset Alzheimer's, right on the line there. So he could have late onset, but it could be early onset since he's right on the line. Hi, Danette, and good morning to you. He will often mistell stories, and when he does, and his wife corrects him, he'll say, oh, that's just Ollie talking. And everybody's like, Who is Ollie? There's no Ollie in the room. And Ollie is the name that they have given Alzheimer's. Rather than him saying, oh, I have Alzheimer's, I did that because I have Alzheimer's, or I forgot that because I have Alzheimer's, he'll just joke around and say, that's Ollie talking. The article says, Ollie is a third presence in the house, one they never invited in, but since he's there, they're making room for him. And though it might seem counterintuitive, they are even trying to have fun with him. That approach, giving the illness a nickname, smoothly zigging after hitting a zag, puts the family in a growing camp of people determined to approach dementia care differently, coming at it with a sense of openness, playfulness, and even wonder. Well, in my family, that's kind of the approach we've had. My sister Verona started out calling Mama's dementia Mencher, Mencher. And on the days that Mama was, doing pretty good, she only had one Mencher. And on the days that she wasn't doing really good at all, or, having a difficult day, we would call it the Menchers. She had more than one Mencher. See, dementia and two Menchers would be Menchers. So we would joke and go, oh, that's Mama's Menchers talking. Mama's got two Menchers talking today. And so we would joke about it. And I've told you, in my world, I believe that, I know that laughter is good for us. Scripture says laughter doeth good like a medicine. So if we can somehow release the tension and the anxiety of the moment with some laughter or with something funny or something that makes us smile, then that's a good thing. And for this family, just playing off what has just happened by blaming it on Ollie, well, that kind of feels good. And it's also not quite as embarrassing maybe when he goes out to eat or he's with friends. He can say, well, that's Ollie talking. I've got Alzheimer's. That's Ollie, and people will laugh along with him. I think it's very likely in our world that if you were to say that in public, a lot of people would not even believe that you actually had Alzheimer's. They don't think most people with Alzheimer's are able to acknowledge that they have Alzheimer's, and it's just not true. For years, my mama would say, hi, my name is Vera, I have Alzheimer's. It was just like that was her long name. If you were to write her given name out, it's my name is Vera, I have Alzheimer's. And she would go with me when I would speak, and I would introduce Mama. This is my mama, she has Alzheimer's. She was interviewed on Life in the Carolinas and very openly talked about I have Alzheimer's and what it was like to live with Alzheimer's. And it has helped her. Now, Mama, at this stage in her life, she's not remembering that she has Alzheimer's. Visited with Mama yesterday, had not seen her in 2 weeks. And I was so hoping Mama would want to hug me and go, oh, Pookie, I missed you, and I'm so glad to see you. And during our visit, she probably said 5 words, and that was it. So it wasn't exactly what I wanted. Sad for me. Oh, well, it's life, and it's what you deal with. But, for years when someone was diagnosed with dementia, there was a stigma attached to it. You just didn't talk about it because Grandma's losing her mind. Don't talk about it. Grandma's losing her mind. We're going to put her over in the corner, and nobody will notice we don't want people to know that Grandma's losing her mind. Well, Grandma didn't do anything to cause that to happen, so why are we treating her like that? So we don't want to do that. We want to be more open. I hope we will be more open in that life experience. And the more open that we are, the easier it will be to caregive and the easier it'll be for Grandma. Kind of interesting thing to think about. Many people will say, and I hear this all the time, that Alzheimer's is just the worst disease. I don't know if it is or not. I've only dealt with Alzheimer's. My dad had cancer, dealt with that, and he did not live very long with it, so I didn't have a huge long journey with cancer. Our pastor's wife had leukemia. We followed that with the family, and that experience was horrible, and the pain she went through and all the spinal taps she had to have. And I said then, oh my goodness, I don't know that I could ever do that. If I found out I had leukemia, I would just I don't know, deal with it, welcome it, and let it go. I don't know about these other diseases. There are a lot of really awful ways to live. I don't know if Alzheimer's is the worst or not. I just know that in my world, it's not fun. I don't enjoy seeing my mama being where she is and not knowing who I am sometimes. She opened one eye and looked at me yesterday, and I went over and pulled the other eye open. I said, Mama, open up and look at me. And who am I? And she says, you're my love. Well, see, that's my mama's way of making sure you got the correct answer. It's like when you say, what did the preacher preach on today? And you go, the pulpit. That means you pay no attention. You got no clue what the man preached on, but that's the correct answer, isn't it? And so my mama will say my love, and I'm hoping that she will then follow up with my name. She did not yesterday. It took her a while to figure out who I was. It's not what I want, but is it the worst thing in the world? I think a whole lot of that depends on your approach and how you are dealing with it in your life, and maybe that relationship between your head and your heart and the Lord. I know that part's true for sure. It says dementia is enormously painful. And this lady that was quoted said, and I truly believe it's an opportunity, if people so choose, to be improvisational, to be silly, to play, to free ourselves from the constraints of truth and knowing and assumptions. Because there are so many assumptions about dementia. Oh my word, if I hear once, I hear 5,000 times, oh, he's just got normal old age dementia. I was talking with a gentleman last week who said, well, it's dementia. Everybody gets it eventually. Well, no, they don't. So there's so many wrong thoughts, wrong assumptions that are just not correct. And we can dwell on the negative of all of it, or we can play it off and try to find some happiness. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to have days where we need to be very serious, and we need to know what's going on, and we need to deal with it. Well, sure, you can't play off all of life, but sometimes you just need to let go of some of that stress and have fun. And we will say with Mama, when she says something funny, I'm going, Mama, your Alzheimer's is making you crazy fun today, isn't it? You know, and she'll laugh it off. Well, she would up until recently. I just don't think Mama's ever going to do that again. But it would take the stress of the moment off, and Mama would giggle and we would giggle. Hi, Catherine. Does that make sense to you? I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping that in your journey that maybe there are times during the day when you can just laugh off the effects of Alzheimer's. Not all of them. I know all of them you can't, but maybe think about that. Maybe you want to give this journey of Alzheimer's a name. What would you call it? Type it in and tell me right now if you want to. What if you were to call it, and don't put nothing dirty, what you would call Alzheimer's. They call it Ollie. We call it Mencher, M-E-N-C-H-E-R. And sometimes it's more than one Mencher. But it's just something to think about. It's where my brain's going today. I wanted to give you our scripture for today because I've gotten real slack at doing that. And the scripture is from Psalm. Catherine says, not much, what about you? Oh, anyway, I'm not sure what that response was, but hi, Catherine. The scripture this morning is from Psalm, and I've got my phone right in front of the words where I can't read it. It says, in the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my request before you, and I wait expectantly. You know, I think if we start our day like that, laying those requests before the Lord, knowing he's listening, and wait expectantly for his answer, then when those tough times come in that caregiving journey, maybe you are more likely to play it off, to be whimsical, to be funny, to act it out with your loved one. One of the things you can do for your loved one who is losing their words, and my mama's losing her words. Yesterday I asked her a question, and she rambled on, and she had all this to say, and none of it made a hill of beans worth of sense at all. And I'm like, really, Mama, that's just cool. That's such a good idea. And I laugh about it, and I smile about it, and I'm real upbeat about it, and I'm thinking, I got no idea what I'm agreeing to here. You know, I got no clue. But I was happy about it. I was very animated. I used my hands a lot, and I used my face. And so when she saw me, she's thinking, oh, whatever I'm saying is just wonderful because Pookie's reacting positively to me. Or else I could have went, Mama, I don't know what you're talking about. Those words just don't make any sense to me. Woe is me. Well, which do you think feels better? I mean, which feels better to you? And so you have to think about that with your folks with dementia too, because it lands on them differently, and you want to make sure they feel better. Okay, this is what I did. I bought this super neat timer. You know, I keep forgetting to set it. Took it to Florida with us. I know I put it in my bag to bring it home. Alas, it is not in my bag. So I'm using my husband's phone to time this thing. And the screen keeps going blank. And he's got a daggone password on it, and I have to keep putting the password in. I have such issues today, don't I? Write and let me know what you've got going on in your world. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Color Street nails. Here you go. You see these? Color Street nails. This particular color is called something. Oh, Soleil Ballet. It's just a pale pink. These are actual nail color strips. nail polish colored strips. And I'm going to show these to you tomorrow. I'm going to put them on and show you how easy they are. Not because necessarily that I want you to know I have on color strips, but I use them on my mama who has dementia, very late stage Alzheimer's. Try painting the fingernails of somebody who has dementia. Well, first of all, I am awful at that, but they will not hold their hand still. And if you get all 5 fingernails done, when you let go of that hand and start doing this, well, you know what they're going to do with this one? Mess it up. It's almost impossible unless somebody just sits and holds that hand. What are you going to do? Hold it for 15 minutes till it dries? And with fingernail polish, it can be tacky dry, and 2 hours from now, you can mess it up. We'll drive you bonkers. So you've gone to all that effort only to have messed up fingernails. It's not a good plan. These things, totally cool. I don't get paid to advertise for them. But if that company wanted me to advertise for them, I would. But I'm going to show you about them tomorrow. Go to Amazon. Check out our Amazon best-selling book, Let's Talk Dementia. Easy to read. White paper. Makes it easier for people like me who have to wear reading glasses. Amazon bestseller by about 10 times. Mom is confused and so am I. This is going to talk about some of the types of dementia, and it has a tracking system for you to track the symptoms of dementia. This is a book I don't talk about a great deal, but it is an Amazon bestseller. It's called If My Body is a Temple, Why Am I Eating Donuts? And it is a 90-day devotional that tells you, whoop, my time's up, that tells you my story of having lost 100 pounds. Hope you'll check them out. Thanks to our sponsors, Passmore's Grocery and Grill on Saluda Street in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Check them out. Vitamin Depot off Celanese Road behind the Dunkin' Donuts and the Burger King. Go in there and tell David that Carol sent you in here. And check out Life in the Carolinas at lifeinthecarolinas.com. Lots of great information on their website. And also check us out at letstalkdementia.org. We thank you for watching. I look forward to being with you tomorrow, and we'll do fingernails. Have a good day. Blessings and smiles on your caregiving journey. Bye-bye.